The reason people love playing with the white pieces in chess is because you sort of get to pick the opening, you get to set the tempo, you get to dictate the pace of the game and sort of lead it in a direction that you feel comfortable. But there is actually an opening to do that with the black pieces, okay? And we're going to jump straight into mastering it. It's known as the modern Scandinavian, okay? I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I just ask that you like and subscribe, okay? So it starts when your opponent plays e4, okay? The most common move in chess, you're going to face this 60% of the time, okay? And in this position, you're going to play the move d5. And if you're a beginner, it looks kind of insane because can't they just take? And it's like, yeah, we kind of want them to, actually. And it does actually somewhat benefit us. I mean, of course, they could play e5, but then we sort of transpose into an advanced French position, but by playing the move bishop to f5. So if they play bishop f5 or c5, but you're very rarely going to face that. They're going to take the pawn, and instead of just recapturing right away like you do in the mainline Scandinavian, we're going to play knight to f6, okay? Just putting as much pressure on this pawn as humanly possible. And after I show you guys all the theory of this opening, I'm going to show you a game where I play the modern Scandinavian and absolutely crush someone, so you guys can see it practically, how it transposes into a middle and end game as well. And in this position, white has a number of moves that we're all going to go through. I mean, the first one being just this move, knight to c3, right? You just want to defend the pawn. But if they do this, it's still overwhelmed, right? We attack it with the knight and the queen. So they'll recapture, and then we take with the queen, and we just have our most valuable piece in the centre of the board, looking in all directions, firing on all fronts. Here the opponent's going to play d4 because they want to take the centre, right? Like they want some pawns in the centre. Then we play the move knight to c6, obviously attack the pawn. They'll play bishop to e3 to defend because otherwise it's just completely overrun and we'll just retake. And here you want to play bishop to f5, right? In the Scandinavian, the modern variation, no matter what's played, you're always going to want your light square bishop on f5, okay? And 9 times out of 10, white will respond with like bishop to d3, looking to just trade it off immediately. Because it's so active, it's such a pain to deal with. But if they don't offer a trade immediately, they'll probably play knight to f3. If they do offer a trade, by the way, just take, okay? Or drop back to g6, but I'd recommend just taking, playing e6, getting the bishop out and short castling, right? But knight to f3, we're going to play the move e5, which looks insane again, I know. And you're probably thinking they're just going to take. But if they take, they're in a world of trouble because we're going to take the queen. And they actually have to recapture with the king. Because if you take with the rook, the pawn on d2 hangs. So you have to take with the king to keep protection of this c2 square, sorry. And then you just like long castle with check. You're going to develop your dark square bishop, get the other rook into the centre. And you're likely going to convert this position because it's so tricky for white to play against. But if the move knight to c3 isn't played, well, there are, of course, other options, like c4, for example. This is known as the Scandinavian gambit, what we're going to play. And it's actually with the move c6, right? They'll take, knight recaptures, and look at our development. I mean, white is yet to develop a piece. We have both our knights developed. White really wants to play d4 in this position, but you just can't, because we absolutely clamp down on the centre with our knight and queen here. So the best move is actually d3, blocking in the light square bishop. It just looks so uncomfortable, doesn't it? And then we play e5, and we just do such a good job at dominating the centre. The bishop's going to go out to f5. We're going to develop our dark square bishop to probably d6. I mean, there might even be some checks at some stage. And then we just get castled. Bring the rooks to the centre. It's really, really simple stuff. Scandinavian gambit is actually my favourite line in the modern variation, especially in bullet. People absolutely despise playing against it. But another move you might come up against is this move knight to f3, in which case we just take the pawn, okay? And then they'll likely play d4. We'll play something along the lines of e6, get the knight out, get the bishop out, get castled. It's all pretty standard stuff. There is nothing too crazy at all. But guys, I'm now going to show you a game where I play the modern variation. We're going to talk through it in a practical sense. Let's jump straight into it. Okay guys, so I was about 1500 elo when I played this game. I'm now closer to 1700, but I thought I'd grab a really old game just to show you guys it's literally accessible to everyone. Like, you don't have to be particularly good to play it. e4, d5, of course. I mean, we just immediately challenge the centre. E takes on d5. Knight jumps out to f6, okay? I mean, the main line goes something along the lines of like queen a5, and then I think you have to play d4 if you are white, and then like knight f6, and when this bishop comes out, you want to play c6 to create a square for your queen to retreat to. In this position, I don't really know what they play, maybe like bishop c4? Is that the best move? I don't know. I'm really recalling on old theory here. And then I imagine bishop f5 because that's what you want to play in every Scandinavian. So that's briefly the main line. But we're looking at the modern today. Okay, knight f6, knight f3, knight takes on d5. So my opponent had so many options like we went through earlier, but they opted for knight f3, which I believe is actually regarded as the best move. I mean, they're all completely fine, the responses we looked at, but I believe knight f3 is what Stockfish prefers. I take the pawn. My opponent plays bishop e2, just preparing to short castle literally immediately. And so I just bring my bishop out to f5, right? Like, we looked at this so much. The bishop always wants to be on f5, targeting this diagonal. Opponent here just short castles, and then I play the move c5, right? And the reason I played c5 is because I wanted to stop my opponent from playing d4, okay? And I thought, even though this pawn is quite an easy target, eventually I'm just going to play e6, open up the dark square bishop to defend. So in my head it made a lot of sense. Opponent here played c4. I mean, you can see Stockfish already absolutely despises it. And I just dropped my knight back to f6, okay? Knight to c3, we get e6. I finally open up my dark square bishop. Queen to b3, so just really threatening b7. And this is a common thing you'll find in your like d5 openings, like the Scandinavian, like when you play a Caro-Kann even with like c6 and d5, you'll find that the queen always sneaks over to attack you on b7, and the best response is always just queen b6, okay? And whoever takes is gonna be opening up a rook, and that's not what you want, okay? Queen takes on b6, a takes on b6, and now my beautiful rook is opened up and ready to pounce, okay? It's quite uncomfortable for white. It's certainly not a position I'd want to be playing against, that is for sure. Knight to b5, I mean, this is a beautiful little outpost. You've got to admit, I tip my hat to my opponent here for finding this move. I then play knight to a6, okay? And the idea here is just, I want to put my knight on b4, or I want to reroute to c7 at some point and trade off this knight, okay? So I'm keeping my options open, maybe threatening this at some point, but also the idea of knight c7, because eventually I'm going to have to challenge this knight. You know, I can't leave it there forever. It's far too strong. So keeping my options open. Opponent plays d4. I play bishop to e7, preparing to short castle. We get bishop to g5, attacking the knight. But obviously, this isn't scary. It's already defended very well. And this trade, you know, I'd quite like to keep the bishop pair. So, not an issue. I short castle. Rook comes over to the centre with rook c1. I bring my rook to e8. And then my opponent plays a3, maybe preparing the move b4, just, you know, going to flood all their pawns towards me. I guess that is probably a good idea. I play rook to c8, b3 is played. I mean, I don't even understand that move, I've got to be honest with you. And then the idea we spoke about, I'm looking to trade off this knight. So I play rook c8 to prepare this move, knight to c7. My opponent trades it off with me. And you'll see the position is just completely equal. But looking at the position with Stockfish is a bit of a lost art. You know, in chess you have to think about these things objectively. So let's say hypothetically I were to turn off the evaluation bar. That's not how you do it. It's like this, isn't it? Boom. Evaluation bar is gone. Okay? And if you were just looking at the board, who would you think is better, right? Like, who is more active? I'd argue it's me, because all of my pieces are in the game. Okay, I may have these double stack pawns, but these are more than capable of dealing with this push. My opponent still needs to bring another piece into the game. The bishop sort of blocks it. It's not really doing anything. And this bishop attacks nothing because I just trade it off, right? So it's me with all the ideas. My opponent trades off the bishop. Not an issue at all. Then my opponent plays d5. And I just thought, this has to be a mistake, right? Like, objectively speaking, this cannot be good for white, can it? And the answer is no. I mean, if we put the eval bar back on, it's not looking good for white at all, okay? But it's a bit of a lost art looking at positions without Stockfish. This is bad because obviously e takes on d5, and this opens up the line of my rook, okay? You got to bear in mind, I was only 1400, 1500 when I played this game. So I'm just showing you guys, like, you get such great positions out of the Scandinavian. It doesn't matter what elo you are. Anyone is capable of playing a strong opening. Opponent takes, misses, their bishop is hanging, and after rook takes on e2, they resign. And all of this came from just me dictating the pace of the game. Okay, just absolutely on the tack, developing far quicker than my opponent was, getting all my pieces out. I mean, the knight comes out, the bishops are out, I short castle, the rooks are now coming over to the centre, and their most active piece, the piece they were relying on, got traded off. Right? Like, I didn't do anything special. We just dictated the pace of the game, just went on the attack, and my opponent suffered the consequences. So guys, that is the modern Scandinavian for you in a nutshell. If you did enjoy the video, please smash a like, subscribe if you're new. We recap a whole load of openings on the channel. We play a lot of attacking chess, so I know you'll love it here. But guys, get out of here. Goodbye.